Hi, everyone. Welcome to the KickoffLabs landing page reviews for August of 2017. If you didn't know, I'm Josh Legard from KickoffLabs. With me today, I've got Laura Lee from KickoffLabs, who's our designer, and Mike at KickoffLabs is joining me today as well. He's a developer at KickoffLabs. And so we're going to be reviewing landing pages that you guys, as our audience and customers, have submitted and asked for a review. But before we get to that, I want to do a couple of things while we're waiting for people to get settled. First of all, if you haven't already and you're watching this review session and you haven't already tried KickoffLabs.com, and we make it really simple to set up viral contests in minutes. So you can quickly and easily set up refer a friend style giveaways, sweepstakes, and product launches. In order to do that, we provide a suite of tools, including landing pages, widgets that you can put on your own website, and viral contest pages so that you can get people rewards for sharing with their friends. And you'll see some examples of what I'm talking about throughout the reviews today. But to kind of walk through it really quickly, you can see the sample of invite friends and earn amazing rewards. So at 1, 5, 10, 15, you could give people something for referring their friends to your mailing list. We see people run those kind of contests. We see people run leaderboards, and we see people set up a viral wait list for a product that's about to launch. Within the context of that, you can run A/B testing. And the other big thing you can do is you can also use KickoffLabs to send some email automation. So when somebody signs up for your email list, you can send them a reward immediately with an automatic reply. You can let them know when they've achieved one of the levels in your contest and send them a reward automatically. Or you could just send them a general thank you called an influencer mail for anyone that for any referral they get within a 24-hour span. What they're looking at. So that said, I hope you try KickoffLabs if you haven't already. If you're in the chat, please post the landing page that you submitted for review and a quick introduction about yourself and your business. It just helps give us a little bit of context, and it's always welcome for you to share comments that you see and feedback on other people's landing pages. It's always great to get people talking amongst themselves, because the more opinions you can get, kind of the better you can judge the changes you should be making to your campaigns. Doesn't look like anybody has submitted one live to the chat yet. So I'm going to go directly into one of the pages that was submitted ahead of time for a product called Stick. It says, so the landing page here says, Stick, a better way to connect with your customers. Sign up for an invite to join Stick's beta waitlist. I scroll down, that's all that there is on the page. A couple things design-wise, and I'll ask Laura Lee to chime in a minute, that stood out to me was that the name of the company and the logo really didn't stand out. So the brand didn't really stand out too much to me. I wish like the stick was maybe part of this logo up here, or a larger, brighter thing above the text to call attention to the text in the center of the page. Because right now, with the background image, it sort of makes it look like the text is sort of part of the laptop and the background image, and it blends in just a little bit too much for me, what you've got. And it looks like you've got a video where you're saying, watch our video to see Stick in action. And I'm not going to take the time to watch the whole video, but my guess is that this video, yep, I don't think the sound of that video is coming through, but the gist of the first part of the video I got was it was going to help you turn presentations and things that you created that were more static into a way to relate and connect with your customers. But none of that is said on this landing pages. So my issue with this is that it's a little bit too general. When you're just saying a better way to connect with your customers, you could say that about a blog, like WordPress would be a better way to connect with your customers. You could say that about an email list service. MailChimp is a better way to connect with your customers. You could say that about a support system. So we use a product called Help Scout to administer product support. and track it. And you could say Help Scout is a better way to connect with my customers, and all of those things are true. So my big issue is that your video gets really specific about what the product does, but the landing page is not specific enough. And so you really want the copy on the landing page to stand on its own and people not have to click play on the video. Because what if people don't click play on the video, or what if they can't? They don't have audio because they're at work, or they're in a loud cafe or something, and they're just looking at your page on their phone. The text needs to do a better job of explaining what it is. And so I would change it to be, connect with your customers with interactive presentations, or connect with your customers by improving your presentation, or improving whatever it is that your product's actually doing. I would do that. I would say that more specifically, like it says in the first couple lines of the video. And then the call to action is sign up for an invite to join 6 beta waitlist. That's an okay incentive, but it doesn't say why I should want to do that. Do I get to give feedback? Do I get to get in early? So I might say, sign up for early access on 6 beta waitlist. And the join now should say get early access or get in first. So it's not just join now, it's get early access. And before I go to the thank you page, Laura Lee, did you have any other feedback on the design of this this page?
Yeah, there were a couple things. I totally agree with you about the logo. I wasn't sure until actually while you were talking. At first I thought, oh, they forgot a logo, because the logo at the very top of the page is small, and I really like the small logo, but without like having stick next to it, or like the size of it seems just a little too small for it to stand out. And then on top of that, the color. And that's the other thing that I was going to bring up, was I really love how you've done a really good job of keeping your color palette really, really minimal, which is something we recommend. In this case, there's a couple instances where you really need to pull out some color. One of those could be the logo. I kind of wonder if you played with making the logo transparent and just white and a little bit bigger, and like putting stick underneath it, you might be fine there. You might not actually need to bring color to the logo. I think just maybe the size. But the area that you really want to pull out is the button. So I would say take, since you've got this nice teal color, which is kind of a cool color, take like a warm color, like a red or a yellow or a pink, or something that's like got this a warm feel to it, that it will really stand out, and make your button that color. And then unless your product has a secondary color already in your palette, then use of course that color. And then along those lines, I really like this full page view, but I agree with what Josh is saying, where it is not clear what you're offering. It's just too vague. So in addition to the recommendations he had, I wonder if you pull some of the content from the video. And we have a couple themes where you can use this full page and have this full page, but then scroll below, it will still take up this full viewport height of the screen. But then as you scroll below, you can add additional content. So you still get this this feel of this one page of the website, but people can still scroll and learn more about Stick. You can give more, maybe some more product shots. It looks like you might be earlier along in the process. It's from this product shot that I see right now, which is kind of like a wireframe, but you can provide what value you're going to provide to people, how you're going to help them. I guess with presentations, I didn't gather that at first. I wasn't exactly sure how you were going to help connect with the customers, but however it is, make it a little bit more clear, maybe with additional content below the fold of this first one page of your website. So add additional content, make that button stand out. And then play with the logo a little bit, either changing the size, making it maybe white and a little bit larger, or if that doesn't work quite well, then try adding maybe the same color as your button. But I wouldn't want to bring too much attention to it. What you want to do is you want to make sure that your logo is clearly your logo, and right now it's a little bit too small for it to appear as if it's your logo on this page. So that's my thoughts for this page here.
Great. Do you want to, while you've got it, do you want to sign up and
Yep.
see what their thank you page is like and just start on the feedback there?
Yep, definitely. Okay, so first off, I really like, see the size of the logo? It's bigger, and I like that it's clearly the logo. And it stands out because of the size. This, like, thank you for your interest now is really kind of hard to read since it's white on this really light teal background. I would maybe change this, either the size and the font weight of it, or change it just to the color. I think simply changing the color to this black color might be totally fine. Then it might make it readable. The other thing that stands out is I'm not sure why you have so much space in between thanks for your interest now and the invite colleagues to earn early free access. Maybe tighten that up a little bit, or you can add a little bit more space below your logo, which actually in this case might be a little bit too big. You might want to, but just very, very slightly, maybe make it a little smaller. But and then move your thanks for your interest just to have it closer to the invite colleagues. Then you can have some space in between your logo and your text there. In the invite colleagues to earn early free access, it looks like you have 3 reward levels, one free month, which is an awesome incentive and something that you should probably, instead of saying getting early access, that seems more enticing, is earn free access, earn free months, or and then with 3 you get early access, and if you refer 10 friends you get free months. So it seems like you feel like the most valuable thing to your customers might be getting early access, because that's what you're using on the landing page and here on the thank you page. And I'm not sure, and I'll ask Josh what he thinks on this, but it seems to me like users might be more enticed by earning these free months, earn up to three free months.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think saying that, on the sign up page, earn free service and early access, or earn early access and free service you could say both, because it's easy to say both on the first page. But I certainly would consider flip-flopping the reward there. I would say 1 would be earlier access, and 2, the 3 shares would be the free month, because it seems like you probably want to get as much feedback as possible. So getting people who are really excited seems like a first step. It's almost, think about it selfishly from your perspective, like you want as much early feedback as possible, so get more people early access, and you probably want to more limit the discounts you're giving. And so to say 3 to get the $20 value, like then it would seem to make more logical sense. And so what most of our customers do is they have it more in that order, where it comes like early access and then some sort of monetary value out of the service for using it.
Yeah, I agree with that. The other thing that stands out to me is whatever color you choose for your button, your like secondary color that's going to pop, that warm color, make that same color for your their custom share URL. That way it will stand out as well amongst this really consistent color, which you're doing a great job pulling in, like the consistency of the color. It feels like the same brand with the colors and images and everything. And I really like the reward levels. It feels very attainable, 1, 3, and 10. And that's all I have for this page. Does anything else stand out to you guys?
No, not for me. Mike, did you have anything you wanted to add about this page? I think Mike is on mute. All right, I'm going to move on to the next page. So let me pull up one of the next pages. So the next page I have here is called Lounge Share. So it's loungeshare.co.nz. And so you can kind of see the differences right off the bat in terms of being really specific. There's a clear brand near the top of the page, and I think this could still even be louder. I mean, you don't have a logo using kind of 2 different fonts, which is fine if you're just starting. But you could make this title a little bit larger, a little bit more pushed down from the top, so it stands out a little bit more, because you have room to still keep the form in the center of the page. And then it's very specific. It says, get airport lounge access in New Zealand. So right away, you're telling me, like, this is for people in New Zealand who travel, like, and it's about lounge access. And then you're getting some pull information from your customers, like which airport do you frequent? And I think this is a good use. So I'll often tell people, you should really just keep the form as simple as possible. Just pick, just email and sign up, or first name and sign up. And you've gone ahead here and said, well, I'm going to collect some useful information, like where are my customers located? Because you're already being really specific, you can get even more specific here and say, okay, my customers, seems like most of them are located in New Plymouth, and they enter their email address and they move on. So I really like that, this approach for using the landing page, not just for collecting an early set of adopters and customers, but for getting some more specific information so you can tailor your service towards them, or maybe provide a better service in the first couple areas where you have a bulk of your customers. It says, want to share your existing lounge access, scroll down to find out more. So let's see what this is about. And so, right off the bat, it says get airport lounge access in New Zealand. So it's about getting lounge access. And then we look at see if the headlines tell a story is what we'll look at next. So get lounge access at any airport in New Zealand, no restrictions. Why would I want to use airport lounge? Luxury, relax, value for money. Already have airport lounge access, and you're asking them to share that they already have it at a specific airport. And then you just have ways to follow you and connect near the bottom of the page. So let's, I think this is a really good explanation. I mean, it seems like you're basically saying you can pair you're going to get people that have access and pair them with flight information of people that can bring in a guest to the airport lounge. And so part of me wonders, and this is less about the landing page, about the pitch, but more just, is part of your pitch that it's a way for people to do networking while they travel, and if so, maybe that should be a benefit somewhere, like it's luxury, relax, value for money, and then networking, because you're going to pair these people together, these kind of relative strangers, to use the benefit of the airport lounge access, and I think that might be valuable. Before we go on, Mike or Lurley, do either of you have comments on the sign up page here?
The only thing that stands out to me was the headline, as you did like the scroll through, like seeing if the headlines told a story. One thing that stood out to me was like this get airport lounge access in New Zealand, which I love how specific, like you said, it is. It's really clear who it is and what you're offering. And then you get down to the second one, and it's kind of a repeat almost, at least the first part. And I just wonder if like making it a little more succinct might tell the story a little bit more clearly. Lots of people aren't going to read it. They're just going to skim, and providing a little bit more succinct, like every New Zealand airport, no restrictions, something so that like it's just a little bit more scrollable. That was the only thing that stood out to me. I think it looks like a really great page, and I agree with you about like the logo maybe providing something more, but I really love how it really feels. It flows really well. It's a great page.
Yeah, that's a good comment about, it's really, that headline is almost too much of a repeat of the first. And so when I dug into the paragraph there, it says travelers can access airport lounge across access, share with another travel. So I think this is where you might say actually get into the share lounge access with others, or share others at lounge access, and just explain, using that section to explain a little bit more about, that. And then the why becomes, why would I want to use or share the airport lounge with folks? And I think then you can explain your pitch a little bit more there, because I think to you, because your name is Lounge Share, like that's obvious, but I don't think that it's obvious to most people coming to this page. At least it wasn't obvious to me until I read the details of the paragraph, and I think the headline could tell that story just as well as the detail part. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my email address here for the next time that I travel to New Zealand. Okay, and right away it says, hello, you've caught us before we're ready. We're working hard to put the finishing touches on Lounge Share. And then it goes on from there. I'm not a fan of this approach, because what you really want people to be doing, especially a service like this where you want to get as many people as possible, you're basically saying, we're not ready. And so to me, I read that as like, okay, thanks, but there's nothing more for me to do here. But you do want people to do. You want people to send a screenshot. You want people to copy and paste and share the links. So I would just be honest and say, before we launch, help us before we launch, or like, thanks for your interest. Now help us find more people to share lounge access with, like, or help us find more people, like, get people involved in the mission of getting people signed up to kind of democratize or make more available this exclusive lounge access that you're talking about. Instead of leading with, oh, we're not ready, because that just kind of turns me off and tells me not to come back to the page or not to do anything else. And then you could put in a headline your 2 steps, like send a screenshot, share, send a screenshot, and get a winner. Like, this headline should be like, 1-year club membership, like, want to win 1-year club membership, or thanks, win a airport club membership, and then explain the rules of the contest. And then you can explain, like, we're still preparing this service. We need to get critical mass. You need to help us get critical mass so we can get more people onto the service. So hopefully that makes sense. And I look forward to seeing you guys make some changes. And we can go on from there. So looking back at the chat really quickly, I don't see anybody submitted a page. So if you are online and you do submit a page to the chat, we will take a look at it. I'm going to move on to onto the next page. So next page was submitted. I saw was it looks like they don't have a domain yet, but it's how to jump higher. I don't think this would ever work for me because gravity impacts me about twice the rate it impacts other people, I'm pretty sure. But I'll look at the landing page anyway. Couple of things about this page. I mean, it's fairly simple. I mean, it's a background image, it's a headline, it's some subtext and an image, and you're saying, like, get free access to this step-by-step manual. There's a picture of a basketball hoop, but I feel like the person dunking the basketball is really obscured by the centered layout of this form. And so I wish, like, the image was more to the left or the form was more to the right, just something so that the background really stood out more, because I feel like it's just sort of like throwing the hero of the image, which is the person jumping, right behind the background. So if this box was all the way to the left and the person jumping was on the right side of the image, and the person jumping is therefore jumping over the box or jumping towards the box, it would really draw attention towards the box a lot more than just having the background image be there. I mean, it's a complementary background image for sure, and that's good. I just feel like it could be done laid out in a way that feels much nicer for most people. And so I might consider just having like a headline that says jump higher, and then a subheadline that says learn how to jump higher in 45 minutes, download your free guide now, and then the form, and then below it explaining this guide. So you have the image here, and then below this image it'll say this detail here which says add inches to your vertical ways you never thought possible, a step-by-step guide. And these detailed sentences should also be sentence case, not headline case. And it'll be easier to read them. And I think that'll balance this form out a little bit. The other thing that seems a little weird is, and I see this all the time, it looks to me like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, if you count these background fonts on this page, and it just feels like there's way too many fonts used on the page. And one of the things we've done in our design guides to tell people who aren't designers who are designing these landing pages is just simplify it down. There should be, one font or one really simple font pairing, and maybe a couple different sizes. But the way this is now, there's 4 different font kind of combination. There's 4 different fonts on this page, and it just looks a lot less professional than it could look on the page. Laura Lee?
Yeah, the other thing that stands out to me is, like, going along with that, like keeping your font family, like limiting your fonts to 1. Also, I don't think that the additional colors here are needed. Like, your headline is big enough and it stands out. I don't think it needs to be red.
Yeah.
And I would consider like just making it the black color. And I think the layout, like that Josh said, would make this much more like, I think the flow would be a lot smoother where you have that main headline, the subtitle, this additional text underneath the image on the left side, and then your form there is closer. And then that way you can make the get access free or send my free ebook or whatever you want to name it. Then you could put that the red color. So then it would really stand out in this on this page, I think. And the other thing that feels just a little bit strange to me is the size of the fonts in the form. They're really large. It just is kind of a little bit strange. And then like there's space in between the button and the form itself. I don't know why there's space there. And then the other thing is like this is meant to just be a one-page theme, but it's it only takes up like if your screen size is large like mine is right now, it only takes up like 2/3 of the page. So that's another thing. It's like little layout things that I think that could just clean up this page a little bit, like making that full screen, removing some space in between the form and the button, organizing a little bit better, cleaning up the font families and the colors. I think that would make this page look a lot cleaner. And like Josh said, positioning the background image to bring more attention to the content itself would really improve this page too.
And so I'm gonna go sign up and see like the large font size in the form just feels really off because like I don't have a long email address, but it's already scrolling left right when I enter my email address here.
Yeah.
So let me get free access. Pretty awesome. And so something's going on here with the says you're pretty awesome. Again, like I don't think you need the orange necessarily here. There's no place to share it with friends. That you're here. So you're obviously not a KickoffLabs customer. I would bet you could get a lot more people that want to share with their basketball playing buddies if you use KickoffLabs and got a sharing page to get them even more goodies for referring their friends to your email list. And then there's the layout issue. So there's another layout issue here on this page, like better news, we have more valuable resources available to you, visit the blog. So you're asking people to go visit the blog afterwards as the call to action. And then this is my ebook is waiting in my inbox for me. Please confirm your subscription first. So it's good you're telling me to confirm the subscription, which is a good step that some people just forget to say you'll need to confirm the subscription. I personally always think the download should also be available on this page. Like I signed up, like I gave you my email address. I know you want confirmed email addresses. I just think it's nice to put the download right on this page too so that people can download it. So you have two call to actions, like download my guide and then learn more by visiting the blog. Although the reality is I think you should have three. It should be download the guide, visit the blog, and it should be share this guide with friends to get more people to sign up to your list. And that's something that we make really easy at KickoffLabs. You can still do the whole verification, the whole download of an ebook, the whole sending it to them via email, that we can all support. But in addition to that, you'll get the sharing as well. So let's go ahead and I'm going to open. So Arlette posted and said, here's a link to one of our landing pages where investment managers and financial advisors. We offer monthly newsletter and update about our risk model. So this is a very different, going to be a very different page, I imagine, than asking people if they want to jump higher. And so I'm going to go right ahead and take a look at the this page here. What was it? Okay. Actually, I'll let see if Laura Lee can click on that. If you want to start first and kind of go through
Sure.
their landing page, and then I'll come back and follow up.
Okay, yep. Okay, so when most struggle with fear of the next bear market, here's what TJT does. And then there's a lot of text, and most people aren't going to read, especially if it's 3 or 4 paragraphs of text, unless this title has really pulled them in. And I'm not in like the financial sector at all, so and I've heard of the bear market, but off the top of my head, I don't even know what that is. You know, so I'm not super educated in this area. So for me, it doesn't entice me. Maybe your target audience will be interested enough to read that. If not, one thing that you can do is you can continue to keep this content on the page, but break it up in an easier way that's more that's easier to consume. which I recommend even if someone is super interested in this anyway. And one thing that you can do is just add some like some images next to it. Like this first paragraph could like have an image next, like on the left side, and on the right side you could have a headline that summarizes what this paragraph is. And maybe you can cut out some of this text and make it a little bit more smaller, like a little more concise and easier to read. And then you break up these three like big paragraphs into like three sections where there's a visual, a headline with a little bit of information about it, something where it makes it just a little bit easier to consume, rather than a kind of this wall of text that we've got here in these three paragraphs that span really the whole width of the page as well. And so without reading that, let's go to the next part. Enter your email address below and receive on our radar monthly updates on the 5 key indicators that comprise TJT Capital Group's proprietary invest risk model. So, so this seems really cool. Like, I think that someone that's really interested in this, you get 5 key indicators. You're going to learn. You're going to teach some really helpful information. The new August 7, 2017 update will be emailed to you instantly. So a couple things stand out to me. First, it seems like your main call to action here is just to sign up for a newsletter. And I wonder if there's other valuable things that you can, and maybe it's in here that it's going to point it out, but how, other than learning, what this learning is going to help them. Like how is the customer that's coming to this page going to become better because of the information you're providing them? Maybe it's that they're going to be able to invest better. Maybe they're going to be able to save some money. Whatever it is that will be like the outcome that's going to benefit the user, I would make that more clear on this page. So from that standpoint, the other thing that I see here is like, I think that you've got this image that's like symbolizing the bear market. And what I would consider doing for this page, instead of like the top of the page is really important, why don't you just move this headline up to be up here with like, so the headline's right below your logo here. You've got your headline, and then you've got this sign up box with a clear incentive, and then you can walk through what's going to be involved, what's going to be part of like these 3 components, and why this user is going to be better from learning this information. So you can kind of start telling a story, whereas like right now it feels like a lot of work for me to figure out what the benefits are. You're requiring me to read through all this and figure out how I'm going to benefit. Try to make it as easy as possible for me to see immediately, oh, this is how I'm going to benefit by signing up for this monthly, or let's see, how often is it, our monthly newsletter. Because I don't know about you, but I get so many emails that I wouldn't want to add another email to my list of emails to receive unless I really saw this clear value and benefit that would be coming to me. And then scrolling down, I see here's a sneak peek from our new On Our Radar August 2017 update, and then like whole other bits of information. And it's okay to have text on the page, but when it's in such a, it feels like a lot of work for me to read through this whole bit of information. And I wonder if breaking this up again, or maybe for this instance, this might be fine since you're pulling from the newsletter itself. And I see a secondary call to action to like sign up here. And I think that if you moved this initial form up here so that they weren't quite so close together, it might be really beneficial to have this at the bottom of the page. But right now, as it is with them being so close together, I don't think that you need both of them. They're still like so close together that it's easy to scroll back to sign up here. Or you could, include a button here at the bottom that links them back up to the form up here. But I would say like the biggest things would be for this page to make it easier to sign up right at the beginning, with like maybe the main benefit right below the headline that you have here, and then making it more clear what the benefits are and maybe what you're going to be teaching, a little bit easier to consume and understand without having to read the whole page. Those are the big things that stand out to me. Anything that stands out to you, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the big thing. I mean, my big thing when I looked at the page was similar to what you said, which is that you're making me do a lot of work to understand your story. in return for the monthly updaters, like a monthly update. And I think you need to play up, move the form up, play up more the instant reward that people get, like 5 key indicators, to look out for, and play that up a lot more than you do versus the update, the monthly update. And I think that would make a tremendous change. The other thing is, I feel like I know you've got the bear versus bull image on the page at the top of the page, but without a headline over it or anything, it feels like it takes up or pushes things down even more. So that when you combine that with the text, I mean, I have to scroll a long way on a not a tiny screen to get to the call to action, where the call to action should really be like right here for this kind of investment. You're not trying to, at this point, get them to give you money or hand over investment money. You're just trying to get a contact information. And so I always think about the length of content or convincing you have to do is always sort of proportional. It's not a concrete rule all the time, but the amount of convincing and touches you have to have with a customer is sort of proportional to what you want them to do at each stage. And at this stage, it's really just like, learn about our risk indicators, and give us your email address to do that, and not having to talk about not having to do a whole ton of convincing for that, because everybody should be aware of their risk. I mean, it makes sense. It seems to make sense to me, and so I don't think you need as much convincing. Whereas maybe the next step of why you should leverage us for your investing might require a lot more convincing and a longer form to get people to take action or sign up. So let me go ahead and I'll sign up here and see what happens.
The other thing that, as you were talking, Josh, I was looking at the page, and it feels like the page, if you look through each of the colors on the page, it feels kind of dark with all the colors. I wonder if just like one bright color instead of this dark blue, click here to view instantly, would be helpful here. And then also this green color that you pull in, I don't love the pairing of that color together either. I think that this lighter blue with this darker blue is a better pair of colors. But anyways, I would consider at least adding one bright color in here.
Yeah. We can look at the thank you page I just got to. Like, I really like that green is the bright color with the blue.
Yeah.
Like, see how the umbrella stands out on this page? Like, if the call to action button had that bright green,
yes,
it would
exactly.
really stand out a lot more than the blue on the blue page did. And this is something, again, so we got to another thank you page. It says go to your email box to confirm. First of all, you didn't thank them for signing up, so just a quick thank you. But then it says go to your email inbox to confirm your email address, and that's fine to get people. You're not telling them why, and you put it in small text, and we'll send you the on the radar. But I thought I was getting the 5 risk things, and so it doesn't feel like it adds up necessarily to what I was promised. So I would. I guess this image sort of does the 5 indicators that really matter, but I would say that in the text. And then the other thing is I would offer some incentives for sharing, or some extra information bit if they share with 2 friends or 3 friends. And again, you guys aren't today a Kickoff Labs customer, or that's something we can discuss more and hook you up with if you'd like, because we make that really simple with our product. But thanks for submitting your landing page for review. I love taking a look at landing pages that aren't hosted by Kickoff Labs, so I can get a sense of what people are trying to do out there, and this sort of makes it really clear what people are attempting to do. I have a little bit more time. There's nobody else in the chat submitting a page, so I'm just going to look at. Let's see where I'm going to click here. Yeah, so let's look at Homestead Haven, and I really hate I hate to do this to you, but I'm gonna you submitted the page for review, and I'm just gonna say, like, I don't know. This is one of the pages submitted. It got submitted a couple times to the to our session, but there's really not much on the page for me to do, and you're not telling me why. What you are. So it just says Homestead Haven opening soon. Be the first to know when we launch. and then notify me. Okay, so my incentive is to be the first to know when you launch, but launch what? I have no idea. Is it a calendaring app for my family, the Homestead Haven? Is it a store that sells antiques? Are you selling Western wear? I don't know. I can guess a little bit of the context. This shop will be powered by Shopify. You're going to try sell something, but I have no idea what you're trying to sell. So you've given no incentive for anybody to say, yes, I'm interested in that. And you want to have people mentally opting in when you're doing a coming soon page. And all you say is Homestead Haven opening soon. So right away you're telling me I should just go away because there's nothing to see here and be the first to know we launch. But since I haven't mentally opted into anything, I don't know what this is. There's no way that I would realistically give you my email address. And furthermore, you're saying, well, spread the word. The word about what? I don't know what the word's going to be or what the word is to spread. So give me a word, give me a message, give me an incentive, and then sure, I will go ahead and help spread the word. But I need to know what the word is. And so be really clear. It can be a really simple page. I mean, Homestead Haven, Western wear for the modern world, like just something that says what the product is, and then like, invite your other cowgirls or cowboys, like just, something that gives me a reason. But let's say despite all that, I went ahead and signed up to see what would happen.
Maybe that bright red button was enticing enough.
It was a bright button. So compared to some of the other pages, like the button did stand out on the page. Yeah. It says, we'll send you email right before we open. This is my least favorite launch strategy ever. We'll send you an email right before we open. I'm going to forget who you were and why I ever signed up, even if you told me what the good word was on your page, because you might not open for 1, 2, 3, 6 months. It's kind of irrelevant. You could probably open 3 days from now and I forget that I signed up and what it was. I'll get an email 3 months from now, I'm sure, and it'll say like the store is open. I'm saying, when did I sign up and why did I do that? What you want to do as part of your launch strategy is you actually want to be reaching out to them and like previewing products. Like, hey, here's a selection of things that'll be on our store, like kind of whet people's appetite. Like, here's what's going to be for sale. And if you invite 5 friends, you get a 20% discount. So use your invite code that was generated via KickoffLabs, by the way, to get 5 friends to sign up for your store. And we'll give you that discount. And I think you'd have a much more successful launch going that way. And that's my 2 cents on that. I don't have any other pages that stood out that I really wanted to look at today. I want to thank Arlette and anybody who watched this live or watched the recording of this series session on landing page reviews. And submitted their pages for criticism and for review. And I hope if you're watching this, you learned something. And you can always send feedback about this and anything else with Kickoff Labs to support@kickofflabs.com. I want to thank Mike and Laura Lee for joining me today. And if you haven't, I'll do my pitch one more time. You can use Kickoff Labs to set up viral contests and giveaways and sweepstakes and product launches in minutes. And it's really simple to set up those kind of refer a friend mechanisms that we saw earlier on with some of the first couple campaigns we looked at, and still give away those downloads and incentives for people signing up for your email list. I want to, again, thank everyone for joining us, and we'll have another series of landing page reviews in September, and so stay tuned for the date, and as always, submit your landing pages to grow.kickofflabs.com/live, because we want to help you grow your business by improving your campaign. So have a great day, and thanks everyone.